Hello and welcome back. Here's the great looking Duchess of Sutherland from the late 70s, I think. Available in this form, 1977 to 79. Just let that noisy turntable finish. And then we'll get her on the move. And we're going to go and pick up some coaches from the long siding, so we'll just draw out onto the inside line here and then adjust the point work again. And then we can roll onto the outside line up towards the bridge. I think I just said this, I think this is a terrific looking model. I think it must have been a bit of a must-have at the time when it appeared in the catalogue in 1977. So we'll just stop her gently there, switch some points, and we'll roll back to the curved point. And then we've got a rake of LMS coaches and the TPO male coach which we saw a few videos ago, which I've recently acquired. And I've got the male pick-up and drop-off equipment installed on the line in the last week or so, so we'll have a look at that in a short while. There's those coaches, and we've got the ex-Caledonian LMS coaches with the Princess alongside there as well. That great class 47 with the silver painted vents. Out we go to the curved point. I think she was in a couple of sets, although I think it was the LMS Passenger Express set. 78 and 79 both had different model numbers, which I'll put in the corner of the screen there. I think it was the same set though, but just with different numbers. So we'll come gently to a stop just before point 1B here. We'll switch the points again to try and prevent future accidents. And then we'll bring her nice and smoothly into the station. That'll be alongside the Golden Arrow train there, which I've taken the utility van off, I think, and one of the coaches just to make that a little bit lighter around the railway. And a nice gentle stop there. A quick look over the box. R.066 LMS 462 Duchess loco. Again, sort of mid-70s box there. We've got some paperwork with it. I'm not going to open it up. It's got the polystyrene on the inside that we've seen before. It's in reasonably good condition. So you can see it's still selling it as a silver seal type locomotive there. And that lovely illustration. So the paperwork with it. We've got an instruction sheet there. I'm not going to open it out. It's very similar to ones we've seen in the past. We'll just have a look at the stamp on the corner of it there. That's R.066, 27th of the 9th, 77. Keep in a safe place. And the other piece of paperwork here is the Hornby service dealer network. So again, I'm not going to open that. We've seen these in past videos, and that one seems to be the 48th edition also, covering Scalextric's electric model racing. So we'll just pop that down. So we'll just have a quick look over the models. I think I said earlier this was R.066 and my example is from 1977. So I'm not going to pick it up and manhandle it. We'll just have a look in close there. I think it probably was a must-have model at the time. And I will put an insert picture in there and you'll be able to see the lamps lighting up there. So they are quite faint, they do light up. You just have a glance at that. So I'm not sure how many other models in the Hornby Railways range, or the Triangle Hornby range for that matter, steam locomotives had lamps on them, but quite an interesting feature. Let's see if we can have a glance down the other side. And let's have a look down there. So a bit better light on this side. Really is a terrific looking model, isn't it? So I think I'm not the only one who thought when they looked in the 77 catalogue. We won't have a look through the catalogue. You can see the image there on the pages there. It really does look like it should have been quite a high glossy model. So whilst I've got the tender top off, we'll just have a quick look over it as well. Plenty of riveting there, that fine printing right around the edges. We've got some step detail and perhaps lamp iron type detail on the back there. Look down the other side. It's had little handling. It's definitely done some running, but not a great deal. And then we can just see inside there's some sort of coding on this top edge here. I can't quite read what that is. Let's turn that around and see if we can get some better light on it there. R.066, so the model was R.066, the locomotive, so perhaps the tender was R.067. So if I just encourage that back into place there, so actually that's going to be far better if I remove it. Let's clip that back into place. There we go. Have a quick look over the tender. So that's how I don't really want to pick up the locomotive for too long and look over it there. So you can see 2 traction tyres. You can see all the gearing down there, and it's a relatively nice connection between the locomotive with this one. So it seems quite reliable. Again, some quite nice detail there. So we've got the handrails. They are beginning to pop off a little bit there. So those little plastic stays, they tend to pop out. They're not very securely in there, and I haven't got the heart to glue those in. So we will just pick it up just briefly and have a look over it. And it's got the metal chassis. The models at the time again in that plastic part on the base, and you can see the connection there for the locomotive and tender that passes the electric continuity there. Looks like a silver seal wheel there in the rear truck. Again, you've got relatively fine flanged wheels and got a flange on the centre one as well. If you have a look underneath, there seems to be a piece of sort of shiny paper stuck in there. I think that's to insulate the lamp contacts. Let's just have a quick glance at the front end there. Let's have a look inside the cab at the back there. So we'll just pick it up one more time. And there we do have a little cab detail in there, don't we? So here's the Royal Mail travelling post office here in the LMS livery. So I think it's a quite splendid looking thing. There's loads of detail there. Now we did see the box that this arrived in a couple of weeks ago, but sadly I think I seem to have left it buried away. But I'll put an insert picture of it there in the corner of the screen. It is rather a beaten up box, and it didn't come with the line side operating equipment, which we've seen in use today. So we've got silver seal wheels, although they've got normal shaped axles rather than the square section ones. So there's the operating strikers or arms on the bottom of the coach there. So fairly lovely looking thing. Now I can't remember the model number of this one, but there were various liveries on this over the years. I think from 77 through to the late 90s, possibly into the 2000s, there were variations on this. So it's a great fun item once you've got it set up and running. So you can see I had the collection ramp in there and the suspend the mail bags from there, and we saw on the other side of the layout, and there that's the operating ramp for depositing the mail bags in the collection hut there. So hours of fun. And a quick look at the LMS coaches. We've seen these before. we've got the brake here, and that's R.066. Now these were available, they came along in 77. I think variations of this were sold right through into the 80s. Sorry, I'm not looking, I'm glancing at my notes there. Right through into the 80s, they've got silver seal wheels. I think they must have gone to a paint finish at some point and perhaps changed their catalogue number, so plenty of those around over the years. They are two slightly different types of boxes. So there's the composite R.433, I think this one is, it says on the end of the box. Let's have a look. Yeah, 433. So again, we have seen these in past videos. They make a lovely sound with these silver seal wheels. It must have been a great change from what had gone before, I think. Nice and smoothly out of the station. I've got 0.8R just open there so we can jump back out onto the main line and pick up a little bit more pace. And as we roll past the long sidings here, we'll see the bright green hut for dropping the mail off in a little later on. We've got a mailbag already, ready to collect as we come round. There's the boxes sitting in the background there. Lovely bright red, aren't they? Out onto the main line. And there is the mailbag waiting. Let's see if we can snatch that. I've just closed 0.8R there in the background as well, so we don't derail on the way back round. Storming through the curve. And let's see if we can drop this mailbag off now. There we go. There's an amazing sense of achievement when that happens. It's terrific fun. So we'll let her storm round again and we'll get another mailbag in position. And then we'll go around a little bit more gently to start with, and we'll see if we can collect that one. Terrific looking model, isn't it? It's like a gentle sheen on that model rather than a high gloss, but she definitely looks to be quite high gloss in the catalogue, I think, in some of those images. Terrific set of images though, weren't they? Now picking up a little more speed. It does mention that you should be between 1/2 and 3/4 full speed to make this work in the instructions. There we have it, we've snatched that one successfully. Let's see if we can storm round and deliver the mail on the other side of the layout. Great view of the handrails there as we come round. Excellent. Gentle click as the mailbag drops in position. So we'll storm round again, and we'll see if we can get another mailbag installed. I can't get one installed in time for the subsequent time round, so we'll have to have an extra run round. Again, we can have a look at those great LMS coaches. They made many of these, I think. I think these are available between 77 and 85, I think, possibly changing catalogue number at some point, as they may have turned to a paint finish. So there we've got the mailbag waiting. Just clipping the mailbag a little bit there. And there we have it. And then cut straight away to the drop-off. And another pickup. And another drop-off. It is terrific fun. It can be quite addictive. We've got power just dropping off there now. And then we'll open up the points and we'll see if we can have a run round over the elevated section. There's quite a few points to run through there, a lot of change of direction going on. Should need a little bit of a run at it, I think, with these coaches around these curves. We've got 2 traction tyres on that tender. That valve there looks lovely, doesn't it? Just working away there. Doesn't seem to show any element of slip, this model. It's nice and free running on the locomotive part. And then we can back the power right off here. And we can just get it to gently descend back down to the baseboard level. I really am enjoying using this controller. It's been a very good purchase. And then we'll roll her around a bit more. Slightly more sedate speed now. See if we can get some good views of her as she comes around here. Those girder wagons really are quite bright, aren't they? And relatively smooth over that diamond crossing too. It's quite a nice view through there. All those water cranes. We must get one of those good sheds to go with that water tower, I think, from that similar late 70s range. So we'll just throw the points now, and we'll bring her onto the inside line and see if we can finish off with just a bit of a run around the inside and get some slightly different views. A nice view of the Morley there, so I've got the whole layout sort of set up for running with just the one controller at the moment, the one side of it, so I can switch it, so I can separate the two lines so we can have two independent models running. But a lot of the time I just run the one model, so it's nice to have the whole layout just on the one side of the controller. So it just does involve some independent switching to make that practical. Lovely view of the high mech there, and the blue and grey coaches on the left of frame. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this. I think this was in the Duchess mail set of 1980 to 81, although the Duchess had become, I think, Duchess of Abercorn by then. I think that was R.542. You have a quick look at the insert picture there. So I think there were many versions of the Duchess type locomotives over the years. It was possibly quite a successful model, but I think this was the first incarnation of it. Let's see if we can just get the one more time around now. But that's about it for this week. But thanks again for watching. Really is hugely appreciated. If you look back again next time, we'll try and have something else from the range to look at. Goodbye now.